the New York Islanders trading Noah Dobson and potentially re-signing Brock Nelson is the most Lou Lamoriello thing I've ever heard in my entire life. That would be insane. He makes $4 million and is an RFA.
Yeah. That's where I'm like, if I heard those rumors and I'm Edmonton, I am kicking the tires because
big time.
Ekholm, Bush, Dobson, Nursey, Kulak, Emerson. It's a cup. It's a cup.
Then you got to do it.
I just think to last year when Vegas went out and got Noah Hannafin. And I know it's a bit different, I suppose, but you're finding that cheaper deal. It makes a lot of sense for him to try and do that.
He's making how much? Four right now?
Yeah. $4 million RFA at the end of the year.
I mean, again, it's like one of those things where I'm staring at that as a GM. That's a mortgage your future a little bit to bring him in because he is a player that you could potentially sign, and you got Bush coming up as well that you have to sign. I mean, there's a lot of things to like in that deal. So when I saw that today, because we're going to chop it up, I was like, what the frick is Lamoriello doing? But then I'm like, Edmonton, this is the one, like you said, this is like Vegas, and Vegas finds a way to do it every year. They bring in 1 million guys, they're 100 million over the cap. I'm like, Edmonton, it's right there for you. Now you got Klinger as your 7, you got Dobson, Bush, and Emberson, and Klinger for Emberson. I mean, you have 3 insane puck moving defensemen with 3 lefties that can hold the fort down. I mean, you don't need to worry about a goaltender. You don't need to worry about anything because that forward group is going to get the puck all night on the tape.
Yeah. That has to be it. Like, that has to be the move.
I don't know I don't think they're actually going to trade him. It would be so stupid.
But we'll remove that. If there's even whispers of that, go for it. Go for it. They got to try. They have to be the most aggressive because if they're not, someone else will.
Vegas will.
Vegas will find a way. That's the thing, to Liam's point. These teams that are always in the upper echelon always find a way. There's got to be a way. There's got to be a way. At $4 million for this year, there's a way.
Let JD talk.
No, but I love the enthusiasm because I'm on the same boat because I'm like, there's a lot of teams that need a Noah Dobson. So like the market will be, you'll have to give up a lot. You look at like the Panthers. The Panthers can use a guy like him. They have Ekblad, but they're a little light on the right side. Vegas, these same teams that always win at Tampa Bay, like these teams will find a way to make it work. And Lou would be more prone to trade him out west if it's a possibility to get him out of the East. And the thing is that the reason why is like he might want an astronomical number, but you could trade that contract at the end of the year, win a cup. You could trade that contract if you want to, or you could re-sign him and you could maybe get him for less than Bush. There's a lot of ways to kind of skin that cat, and I feel like it gives a lot of options. And it also just, I mean, you're immediately have one of the best decors in the NHL.
Here's the other thing too, and this is how Frank threw cold water on it. There are no leaks in Long Island. Lou lets nothing out. He's got the secure phone line.
Well, maybe this just shows you that Lou's on the way out.
Maybe
he is. There was in this article I was reading, it said they were interested in Elias Pettersson.
Oh, so maybe they're offloading Dobson to get assets to Chase Pettersson.
Yeah, and just looking at the potential trade comparables, I guess I don't think any of them are high enough for him. But like, obviously Noah Hannafin is similar, I suppose. He's a little bit older when he was traded than what Noah Dobson is now. That was that depth defenseman, Daniil, what's his name?
Miramonov, yeah.
Conditional first, which was just flipping either this year or next year, whichever one kind of works for them, and a third, and then they had 75% retained. And then the one before that too was, and again, lower value. Hronek was 25 when Detroit traded him, and he cost the Vancouver Canucks a first and a second. With no cap retention, he was $4.5 million.
Okay.
Obviously not as offensively talented.
So then the deal is just based on those comps. It's next year's first. Mm-hmm. It's Bo Akey and it's Sam O'Reilly. That's your first. That's your second equivalent. And then you got to throw in another first equivalent, O'Reilly, because it's the better player. And you can take the money on full board. You have the space for it. 3 premium assets for one player. I think if the Islanders are doing it, they're punting into a rebuild. They're not doing it to try to get pieces for now. So
I don't know if you'd have to give up both of those guys, but I think definitely one of them. And then you give.
But would you do it if you have to give up both?
Honestly, I think he's more of a rental than anything.
And you're flipping him at the draft?
I just don't know if you can afford to sign him, but so then maybe you can just try and get those assets back again, and that's fine.
It's a unique situation because you can flip him again, or we have such an amazing playoff run and he stands
maybe
out
he stays.
That you have a weird decision to make. But
or
What's up, Nation citizens? If you like that video, then you need to be subscribed to the Oilers Nation YouTube. Podcasts, live shows, exclusive interviews, and analysis. Everything you need from your favorite voices at Oilers Nation. And you don't want to miss any of it, so hammer that subscribe button.